All right, so get this. Everyone's saying AI is going to like take over the world, right? The next big thing, all that.
Mhm.
But then I'm reading about Taiwan, and their AI exports are tanking. Makes you wonder, is this whole AI economy thing like way shakier than we
You
think?
might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taiwan's tech sector, it's a bellwether, like the canary in the coal mine,
Right, right.
When their numbers go wonky, especially in a cutting-edge area like AI, everyone else sits up and pays attention. It's not just about Taiwan itself. It's the ripple effect
Yeah.
globally.
Okay, so how wonky are we talking? The article I saw had percentages, but those always kind of fly over my head.
Think of it this way. AI exports to the U.S. from Taiwan last month, down almost 24%. Biggest drop they've had since way back in 2015.
Whoa.
It's like everyone suddenly stopped buying those AI brains, the semiconductors, even Amazon, and they have money to burn, right? They were buying fewer AI chips.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if they're getting nervous about this whole AI boom, too.
Yeah, it's weird, right? We've been hearing AI is going to steal all our jobs for so long. What if it can't even get off the ground?
It's complicated, for sure.
Mm.
See, this Taiwan thing, it really shows how much they depend on semiconductors. Their whole economy's tied to it. So when that slows down, it hits them hard, throws a wrench in the idea that AI is this automatic economic savior, yeah.
I mean, if everyone's freaking out about AI being the next big thing, shouldn't demand be like insane? What's the disconnect?
Million-dollar question.
Mhm.
Got to remember how
I-
interconnected the global economy is. Taiwan's slowdown might be a symptom of something bigger, maybe too much AI stuff out there, demand drying up, or even these companies just rethinking how much they want to bet on AI. It's all connected.
Okay, so that's one side of it, but my head's spinning a little because the article also said that AI is basically what's keeping the U.S. economy afloat right now, like preventing a recession.
Right, right.
So all those massive data centers popping up, those are like the new economic heroes or something.
Yeah, it's almost like contradictory, isn't it? Taiwan sending these warning signals, but then AI gets the credit for holding up the U.S. economy.
So is AI the good guy or the bad guy in all this?
More like one of those characters, in the movies, they got good and bad sides. Those AI investments, yeah, the data centers, they're pumping money into the economy right now.
Yeah.
But is it sustainable?
Okay.
Think about it. You wouldn't only eat candy bars for energy, right? Sugar Rush is great, but...
Not a long-term plan.
Exactly. Gotta ask, are we setting ourselves up for a crash later?
So, should I be stocking up on canned goods now, or?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, ha. But it is a good reminder, putting all your eggs in one basket, even if it's shiny new AI, that's risky business.
And speaking of risk, you notice how it's like just a few big names dominating the AI scene these days?
You mean like how Google seems to have its fingers in everything AI now?
I just creep me out.
Honestly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The article called it an AI oligopoly, basically. A few powerful companies end up controlling most of the AI market. Remember how the telecom industry is? Just a few big players?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but with AI. Smaller companies can't even get a foothold.
Okay, that future sounds not great. Less competition, things get more expensive, probably less innovation, right?
Think about going to the store, and there's only one brand of everything on the shelves.
And it cost a fortune.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? This loops back to those AI chip purchases dropping. Even the big tech companies, they're being careful. Maybe they're realizing this mad rush to rule AI could backfire. Just goes to show something that seems like a tech detail can impact the entire economy, even our daily lives.
Okay, so we've got Taiwan wobbling, a possible AI bubble, and now this oligopoly thing on top of it all. Feels like one of those sci-fi movies, Wall Street gets taken over by robots before they even bother with the rest of us.
Not quite that dramatic, but you're right to be paying attention to this stuff. And remember, this all started with you digging into some economic data. It's not just about AI. It's the whole economic picture.
Right. The article mentioned some other things, too, not just AI related, like long-term unemployment being up. That can't be a good sign.
No, not really. The thing is, even if AI does create new jobs, like the fancy ones everyone talks about, it's not necessarily making up for the jobs lost elsewhere. And when people are out of work for a long time, that hurts the whole economy. It's like a domino effect.
Trying to fill up a bathtub with, like, a teaspoon while the drain's wide open?
Exactly. And that's what's dangerous about this idea that AI will just swoop in and fix everything. It's a powerful tool, sure, but we need a broader approach to build a stable economy for the future.
So, no magic bullet, huh? AI is not going to save the day.
It's more about being realistic.
Right.
AI has huge potential, but it has limits too. Our economy depends on so many things. AI is just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so what now? Should I be learning to code, or is it economic apocalypse time? What's the next move?
Don't panic. First things first, got to understand what we're dealing with, right? That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Easy to get caught up in the hype,
Mhm.
especially with something as, well, attention-grabbing as AI. But we got to look beyond the headlines, the hype, understand the nuances, and, be a little skeptical.
Skepticism, but the informed kind, right?
Exactly. That's what we're going for here.
Well, I'd say mission accomplished so far. Feeling more informed, even if it's a little overwhelming. But hey, that's what deep dives are for, right? Challenge our assumptions, make us think.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But where do we even go from here? We talked about the downsides of AI, the economic stuff, this AI oligopoly. It's a lot.
It is, yeah. But being aware of it, that's the first step. Once we get how complex it is, the potential problems, that's how we start to navigate it all.
Okay, so what can we even do with this information? Should we all go invest in, like, printing presses now or something?
Hold on, haha. That's something each person's got to figure out based on their own situation, what matters to them. But here's a thought. We've been talking economics, the good and bad AI could bring, but what about the impact on society? As a whole, I mean.
Right, right. We're so focused on the money side, we haven't even touched on the bigger picture.
Exactly. How's AI going to affect our relationships, our communities, even how we see what it means to be human? These are questions we've all got to be asking as AI becomes more and more a part of life.
Yeah, you've definitely given me a lot to think about. That's like a whole other layer on top of everything else.
That's the point. The AI conversation, it shouldn't just be for the economists and the tech people. It needs everyone.
So more of these deep dives then, more conversations about all this, the good, the bad, the complicated.
Absolutely. The more we know, the better we can shape the future of AI, make it something that benefits everyone.
You've convinced me. Sign me up for more deep dives, for sure. But for now, I think our listeners need a minute to process. We covered a lot today.
I agree. It's a lot to digest.
You know, after that last part, I'm half tempted to dig out my old flip phone, go off the grid,
Right.
find a nice yurt somewhere, trade hand-knitted sweaters for, like, organic carrots, back to basics before the robots rise up.
I get it. But you got to remember, AI itself isn't the problem, right? It's a tool. Like any tool, it's how we use it, good or bad.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't blame the robots for everything. But after all this talk about economic doom and AI empires taking over, is there any good news about the future of this stuff? Or are we all going to end up serving our robot overlords?
Hey, don't despair yet. There's plenty to be optimistic about. AI is still pretty young when you think about it.
Okay.
We're still figuring it out, what it can do, how to use it responsibly, all that. So it's not all robot uprisings and stock market crashes.
Yeah.
Here's some good news here.
Well, one really positive thing is there's way more focus now on the ethics of AI. Researchers, people making policy, even the tech companies themselves, they're all starting to ask the tough questions about bias, fairness, transparency, all that. That's good to hear. Because honestly, one of my biggest worries is that, AI will just make all the inequality we already have even worse. If the data's messed up, the AI is going to be messed up, right?
Exactly. You try teaching a kid to ride a bike with a busted bike, right. It's going to learn the wrong way.
Right.
But we're at least talking about it now, acknowledging the potential for harm. That's a good step.
Yeah, right. So more awareness is good. Anything else looking up?
Definitely. Remember we talked about the AI oligopoly thing, those few big companies controlling everything?
Yeah.
Well, one way to fight that is encourage more competition, more innovation, especially from smaller companies.
Because competition's good, right? Keeps everyone honest, makes for better stuff in the end.
Exactly. And the good news is we're seeing more investment in AI startups. These smaller companies, they're coming up with some really creative solutions for things like healthcare, education, even climate change.
Wow. Okay. So it's not just the big guys calling all the shots.
Nope.
There's still room for, like, the little guy to make a difference.
There's got to be. We need that fresh thinking, that willingness to shake things up. Otherwise, AI only benefits a tiny group, not everyone. And that's not what we want.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more optimistic now, I gotta admit. Like you said, AI's still early days, a lot of unknowns, sure, but also a lot of potential to make things better. We just gotta make sure we're steering it in the right direction.
Well said. And that's what makes it so exciting, right? We're here right at the start of one of the biggest technological shifts ever.
Wild times, man. But then, that's what we're here for, right?
That's right. And like we've been saying this whole time, the most important thing is to stay informed, stay engaged, stay curious.
Couldn't agree more. So to all our listeners out there, think about this. The future of AI, it's not already decided. We're all creating it right now with the choices we make, the questions we ask, all of it. Let's make it a future worth fighting for, right?
Here, here. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning.
And remember, best way to predict the future is to create it. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.